All right, today's a little more lighthearted than usual, as I'm usually taking a closer look at some serious medical articles and talking about the headline and looking past and seeing what the primary study says. So I'll be doing the same thing today, and there is an important message to parents included in this source material, but there's also a little bit of humor in the source material itself. So let's take a look at this article here that six doctors swallowed Lego heads for science. Here's what came out. So when one of the doctors was a toddler, he swallowed a Lego piece, and they talk a little bit about this. And parents do come in to the hospital worried about something that their child ate. It's a real thing that a lot of parents have concerns about. So usually this is going to be some inert object that just gets passed, they're saying, so within a day or so. But rather than have parents keep coming to the hospital, was there a way to spare parents from this needless worry? It should be noted, as they say later, that there are real concerns about batteries or medications being swallowed by children, but they talk a little bit about this here. So let's see. So 6 doctors had an experiment and published the results, which I have open in another tab we'll look at. So each of the doctors swallowed a Lego head, and basically they wanted to see how long it took to swallow and excrete the toy. So they have some little bit, and then here they have their first little joke here in the science arena. So the researchers measured the time it took for the Lego heads to be passed. The time interval was called the found and retrieve time, or the fart score. So that's their first little joke. And I did want to, again, point out this exception. So an important one is the button batteries, or disc batteries, some places call them. They're the small, round, wafer-shaped batteries that are often found in electronic toys. So if you see your children's toys, especially for toddlers and smaller kids, and you need to change the batteries, sometimes it's annoying. You always need a screwdriver. It's like a requirement. You have to get the screwdriver, open up the little plastic hatch, and then you could change the battery. And that's important because you don't want the child to eat the battery. And if your child does eat the battery, we do have the numbers for the poison control and 24-hour battery ingestion hotline that I can leave up there. But it's basically, I think the poison control is easy to remember, just 1-800-222-1222. So just remember all the twos. The other one's a little harder to remember, but you might be able to commit the poison control one to memory. But yeah, so let me look at the article itself. So I mean, this is a actual study that's published. They also published it for free, so you don't have to pay. There's no paywall for reading this article. Sometimes things are hidden behind paywall. So here they talk about children frequently ingest coins, and there's been a lot of studies on coins, but there hasn't been a lot on other stuff. And parental concern, of course, is more than coins. I think today, in an increasingly digital world, we have less and less coins laying around the house. When I was a kid, we had a lot more coins all over the place. And for my kids, we're more credit card and other things these days. And we might have some cash, but we don't have coins in like every drawer. Maybe that's not typical, but you can let me know if I'm an outlier here or what. But yeah, six pediatricians were recruited to swallow a Lego head. And then here they have their second little joke here, the Stool Hardness and Transit score, which is also the SHAT score. So they have the SHAT versus fart score. And this is, of course, a real study. So the fart score was 1.7 days. So I would say if you look at 1.7 days, this is, of course, for an adult. There's not really a reason to think children would be much different. I think children would probably be even faster. That's what they said somewhere in here as well. So you can see that this Lego toy passes quickly with no complications. This should reassure parents that they also don't need to search through their children's feces to prove that the object was pooped out. I think people did that a lot with coins. Like, oh my gosh, my child, swallowed a dime or whatever, and they would have to search their child's poop to make sure it came out because they were worried if it stayed inside, it would poison them or something. So I think that's the major thing that they're trying to say. You don't need to do that. This is just kind of a little bit more data. So this is the crux of it here. During the early oral developmental phase, children do eat a bunch of stuff that offer no nutritional value. I have a 6-year-old and a 1-year-old. So I know my 1-year-old's right in the middle of this thing right here. And yeah, he does definitely do that. So there are over 128,000 reported incidents of foreign body ingestion or aspiration in the UK. So coins are still the most. I don't know if that's true. Let's see, when is this from? This article, it says coins are still the most. No, it's 20 years old. I don't know if that's still true. I would question this. But anyways, yeah, so they normally just say toy parts. So they did want to say that coins pass within 3 to 6 days, looks like. Smaller, lighter toys might pass more rapidly. It looks like they do. So rather than checking your kid's stool for a week or so, you can just be assured that it's going to come out. I thought this was funny too. They have a whole thing for the Lego mini head figurine, like very scientific and precise. Post ingestion. So the fart time here we have. Principal study, so 1.71 days. Yeah, here you can have the pre-SHAT and SHAT scores, SHAT versus fart score. So yeah, I think I'll wrap up on the discussion and studies here. So in the conclusion here, so basically, in this study, it was determined that a predefined toy object, which is the Lego head, passed through an adult on average with 1 to 3 days, no complications. It's possible that this is what I was saying earlier, that childhood transit time is different, but if anything, it would pass faster in children's GI system. So the point is that this will be useful to anxious parents, which I agree, I hope, who may be worried, and they also have to search their poo. You can say you don't need to do that, which is probably great for parents. They make some jokes about how the male doctors had issues with this. If an experienced clinician with a PhD is unable to adequately find objects in their own stool, it seems clear we should not be expecting parents to do so. So maybe they were trying to see if national guidance could say the same thing. Say you don't need to check your child's stool for small toys. I think they talk about the limitations to the study, which are also kind of funny. They couldn't blind the outcomes. So blinding is, of course, blinding and double blinding, you can Google. I don't want to bore everyone with that, but that's how studies are generally done. They felt it unfair as they didn't want the author's partners or colleagues to search through their waste products, which is fair. And they also talk a little bit about the SHAT score, but the participants shat themselves without specialist knowledge. Another joke from these guys. So I do like the little scientific jokes that they're throwing in there, but I think overall in conclusion, this is really, the serious part of it is that if your child has eaten something inert, like a coin or a Lego or something, they'll pass it. In most cases, it looks like without much complication. Whereas if your child is eating like a battery or like some medicine, then you definitely need to look at one of the numbers and call them or go to the doctor at that point. But I think it's that you don't need to rush to the hospital, rush to the doctor because your child ate a Lego or some other small toy that doesn't have batteries or anything in it. And the reason you need to go with batteries is that you can burn a hole through your child's esophagus or stomach in just a few hours. If they have eaten a battery, that battery will get eroded and cause a lot of damage. So overall, this should offer reassurance for parents. Hopefully this is reassuring. And I think the study also is a little bit of a reminder that people do say laughter is the best medicine. I don't know if anyone laughed at the fart score or SHAT score, but I thought it was funny. And I did enjoy this coming across my desk today. And I'll see you next time.